Welcome to the Backseat Thriver podcast. I'm Christina Johnston.
And I'm Bridget Kostas.
And we really think you guys should listen because we think we're pretty funny.
We are pretty funny.
Yeah.
We're unfiltered. It's real. It's sometimes what you need to hear.
Sometimes what you don't.
But
Good morning, friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? This is weird.
This
like
is
we're
so
on the
weird.
Same side.
I keep being like, is this okay? Are we in the camera?
We're in the camera. We look this way.
We're in the camera. We're in view.
It's because we have such an amazing guest today. We have to be on the same side.
Yeah. Well, you know,
you can get closer to me. We can hold hands.
Well, did you shower this morning?
No, I showered last night though.
Ew.
No, I exfoliated.
Did you
so we're
exfoliate?
Good.
Okay, good.
Always, every day, all day. That's how I get this youthful skin.
Yeah. Well, I believe that. So.
How are you?
How do you want to do this? I'm a little cross-eyed.
How are you this morning?
I had some wine last night, and I'm a little wonky.
Oh, great! This is going to be a fun one.
It's going to be a real fun one because we had breakfast this morning, and I had bacon and hash browns and biscuits and gravy. I'm ready to roll.
You know our guest is judging from across the table.
Well, I hope so.
We can't share.
I hope so
yet.
because we're gonna learn a lot today.
About your carb overload,
about my carb overloading, about your weightlifting,
my lack of weightlifting and exercise.
Okay, well, we're gonna get to this when we talk to our special guest. But don't let me forget what I want to talk about. You flailing your weights around, your 3-pounders. So I've got a good story on that one. Okay, so we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Okay, so let's talk about our guest because this is pretty fun.
This is amazing.
Okay, do you want to say anything?
I do want to say something.
Get to it.
I am super excited about today because, all right, so we had our first intro with this amazing gal probably about a month ago. And I was blown away. I was a little starstruck. I was like, oh my God, I think I know you.
Can I get your autograph?
You don't know me, but I know you. And it was pretty amazing. So if you want to pan the camera over to our amazing guest,
what's up, guys?
Welcome back. Who is this? We have Miss Veronica Soto
Urcades.
Okay. I'm just going to let you say it.
Soto's my maiden name. I still have my wedding certificate sitting at the entrance of my door. I got married in October of 23.
Oh.
So I told my husband, I was like, you get a 1-year trial. Don't fuck it up before I turn this certificate in.
He's got a 1-year
It's literally
trial.
Still sitting there. I just haven't gone to the... You know, the name change makes it really
It's
complicated.
A real pain in the butt.
I've heard it's a pain in the ass.
It is.
Okay, so for our guests, for the Backseat Thriver guests who have not had the opportunity to meet this amazing Veronica, Veronica is part of our Live the Dream Media team. She is one of our sister podcasters over here.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sister podcasters.
She just came up with that.
That's amazing.
I know.
Also, it's just so you guys know, it's an all-girls staff today. So we got Demi, we got Shay in the box, and then us three.
And then how perfect that
David,
the
we're taking it over.
title of today is Girl Boss.
There you
so
go.
that's very fitting.
Oh, kick us off,
Yeah.
Christina.
Enjoy your vacation, David.
Yeah.
Come back
bye.
never. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, David.
Raul.
Please don't fire us.
We love it here.
We love you.
Okay, I need to get one thing out of the way before we start because Bridget calls you V when you're not around. And I'm like, wait a sec.
Coach V.
Yeah, but are you like on a first initial basis with her? Like, can I call
Gave me
her
a
V?
hug when she first met me. That was like so sweet. It was Bridget, right? You were like, I feel like I should hug you. And I was like, please hug me.
Yeah. Okay. So Christina and I, we've highlighted this on a couple of our shows. Like we're giants. Like we're really tall.
You guys are pretty tall.
We are very, we're like 5'10"
I'm 5'2.5", y'all. So I was like, hey, y'all, how's it going up there?
How's the air up there? A little thin.
Is it cooler or hotter?
It's cleaner.
I'm dead.
It's clean. But Veronica is like this little Mighty Mouse. Like she is just this little power pack. Not where I'm like, no, this is V.
This is V,
and
So
V.
do other people call you V?
So, man, people call me all the things. So growing up, my name is Veronica, obviously. Growing up, my family called me Güera because I was I am really light skinned. I got a spray tan. Shout out to Jen Keys Glow and Go. Because I'm going to the rodeo tomorrow and we're not going to get dusty and pale out there.
Okay.
Not going to happen. Right. So my family called me Güera because I was very light skinned and had like blonde hair growing up. So most of my entire life, Güera. And then when I went to high school, my mom's maiden name is Picos. Like pickles, but without the CK, so Picos. So all through high school, Picos. And then Veronica came back like college into Tucson. And then Coach V actually started when I started coaching the cheer girls. Because like, I don't know, it just kind of stuck, Coach V. And then I kind of transitioned that over. So people call me whatever they want.
All right, I'm going to go with V because that makes me feel cooler.
Well, and
first letter basis.
Yeah.
And we're very initial based.
We are. You know what? That's true too.
Yeah.
You're right.
V,
this really fits with our brand.
She calls me BK.
And C.
Yep.
She calls me BK, like BK tacos.
Yeah.
And then...
But also because it's your name.
Because they are their initials. And then we used to call you CG.
Yeah.
And now you're CJ.
Yeah.
But you don't like CJ.
I don't. It was my grandpa's girlfriend's name. R.I.P. But like...
Makes you feel old.
weird.
The only name I don't like is Vero.
Vero?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't know if this is just inheritance from my mom, but my mom's I'm a junior. So my mom's name is Veronica and she doesn't like being called Vero either. So I think I might have just picked that up along the way and I was like, don't call me Vero either.
Okay.
And the only other name was my kindergarten bus driver. His name was Mr. Flags and he used to call me Ronnie.
Oh,
He's the
that's
only
cute.
one, maybe one other person.
Isn't it funny how I remember all of my
was
bus drivers.
so
I had a
sweet.
bus driver named Norb, Norb. There's no way he could still be alive, but
I don't think Mr.
he
Flags is alive either.
The sweetest. Like bus drivers were
I
so
know.
sweet back in the day.
I was
So
scared to
sweet.
death to ride the bus. Like that was, I did not
So
want
you
to
were
ride the
privileged?
You got to ride to school. What was that like?
bus. No, I had to walk.
Oh,
So like in grade school, my grandma lived right behind the middle school.
Okay,
Or
okay.
the elementary school. So she would wait for me across the
that's so sweet.
across the field, and I would walk
Across the field?
Yeah, she'd wave to
Wait,
me. I'm
not
like,
in Tucson, right?
No, it was in Tucson.
There's
It
a
was-
field here?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
like
was-
the
like
play
from the
field.
element.
the play
yeah, yeah.
field.
Okay, I was thinking like a prairie field. I'm like, that's so sweet.
When we
There's
crossed-
flowers.
That is so sweet.
She's walking over. She walked 3 miles each way each morning.
Exactly.
And Grandma used to wait at the
Grandma
field.
would wait for me across the
Track and field.
the track and field. There you go.
The hot asphalt.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, it was Laguna. Like it was right down there, like off of Flowing Walls area.
Nice.
Yeah,
You were down there.
I was down
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yep.
Privileged AF.
Yep. Growing
In
up
the Flowing Wells district.
All right, let's get to this. Okay, so okay. Let's talk about how great V is. So
Let's introduce her.
Let's introduce her.
like, officially.
let's do it.
Okay. So, for our listeners that do not know who Veronica is, who Coach V is, this girl is quite the badass. So, not only is she a personal trainer, but she is the founder of Barbell Babes here in Tucson. She has been a trainer for over 10 years. And this like I said, this girl is like a little power pack.
Oh.
Not only that, but as she had shared earlier, she is a cheer coach. So she's a trainer. She's a cheer coach. She is our sister podcaster for the host of ovHER podcast. She's been doing that for a little over 3 years. And she is self-employed. I thought one of the coolest things that this girl does, she's a boudoir photographer.
Oh, yes.
So would love to know a little bit more. Not that I want to like be in front of your
You
camera
totally
or
should. It's
anything.
actually really fun.
Grew up in a Western Hispanic family, and if you've listened to her podcast, I have totally adopted her Mexican cooking style. I love this, and she can tell you a little bit about that. But this girl is probably one of the besides Christina.
I'm starting
and I,
to get a little jealous here. Can you
Okay,
wrap
hold
this
on.
up?
This is
You're
why-
about
this
to be
is-
replaced as
this
a
is- I was like,
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Beside Christina and I, was probably one of the coolest podcasters out there. I mean, she's
Thanks,
Oh my
guys.
gosh.
like I said, I was a fangirl when we walked in here and I met her. I was like, oh my God, I love this girl. I want to
You
be her
were.
friend. Yeah.
All right, I've had about enough of you.
This chair might look really good on you.
You want to swap, Christina?
I like it when you get jealous.
Yeah.
I like it. It's so good.
Okay, enough. All right, she's so great. Whatever. All right, so there's so much that we're going to talk about. Now, I have my own agenda. You have your own agenda because, as I was cyber stalking you and trying to find some dirt on you, maybe some zinger questions I could ask. Right before we started, we were just yapping and I'm like, oh my gosh, we already have so much in common. There's so many interesting things. And
I have more in common with her though.
Fine, you can have
She's
that.
She's gonna drop the mic and walk out right now. She's like, you know what? You guys fought.
You can be a backseat thriver alone, jerk. So, all right. So we have weight training to talk about. We have podcasts to talk about. And I have a lot of questions about food that I want to talk about. So I think maybe let's kick this off with talking a little bit about this is all you hear about now is women and weights. Like cardio is so last year. Let's get on the weight training. Now, I have been doing I was a huge fan of Spenga. So it's like, because I hate working out. And so it was like just short enough increments, 20 minutes of spin, 20 minutes of weights, 20 minutes of yoga, that just at the point where I'd be like, I hate this. I want to quit.
Switch.
And then you'd switch. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. So Bridget and I are talking about it. And I'm like, hey, I got a Peloton. I'm like, I'm doing all the same stuff at home. And I'm like 3 pound weights. And I got this from my friend Kendra, who was like, I was like, dang girl, what did you like? She looked amazing. And she's just like,
she does look amazing.
She's like amazing. She's like a rock.
She's Malibu Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, 3 pound weights. I'm like, bullshit. That's not what you're doing.
I don't believe it.
But so then I was
I'm
like,
sure she does look like a Malibu Barbie.
Yeah. So I tell Bridget, I'm like, you got to get on this 3 pound weight game. And she's like, well, like, what do you do? Can you show me? And I was like, all right. So I recorded a video of me doing my 3 pound weight workouts. And I was like, 10 minutes, girl, go get it.
She's like 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
YMCA with a 3 pound
With
weight.
the weights.
That was pretty and I was like,
so Bridget tells me, she does it. She's like, so like I watched your video, but basically I was just like flailing weights around. I don't even know what I was doing. So the point is,
it started burning after a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely feel that.
Yeah.
So back us up a little bit. Okay. So, when you're hitting 30s and beyond, what are we supposed to be doing? Is cardio really out? Are we supposed to be lifting heavy?
Okay,
like, what's the deal?
So many avenues here because I feel like everyone is so subjective to themselves and what they enjoy and what they don't enjoy. So, for example, you just told me you don't like working out, right?
I hate it.
Yeah, but if Spenga worked for you, then do it. Like if it's Spenga or nothing, 10 times out of 10 Spenga. Mm-hmm. In a perfect world, scientifically proven, like the best beneficial kind of movement for women for hormones and women is weight training. A lot of it has to do with the way that our cortisol levels work in our body and how we project stress, because to our body, stress is stress. So working out is a form of stress. So if you have a woman, for example, how many kids do you have?
3.
Okay, so you have 3 kids and you podcast, but you're mostly at home and you're dropping off, picking up, packing lunches, tidying your house, and then doing the podcast. Like you're already thinking of the next thing, right? Your body can't tell the difference between if you're stressed because you're running late to the podcast or if you're stressed because you just did a 20-minute HIIT workout at Spenga. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And what strength training does is it really forces you to slow down. You can do boot camp style workouts, but strength training with long periods of rest in between is better hormonally for you, for your cortisol levels, for your recovery, and honestly, like your muscle mass. You're not gonna build as much muscle doing anything else unless you're doing Olympic weightlifting, which even then the aesthetic part of it isn't part of the sport. It's just getting as strong as you can. So it is most beneficial for women to lift weights, but again, everything is so subjective. Like if Bridget tells me like, hey, I don't like to do weight training at all.
Anything.
Yeah, anything, right? But I do enjoy hiking. I'm going to be like, well, freaking go on a hike 3 times a week because that's better than sitting your ass at home and doing absolutely nothing. Does that make sense? Yeah. So there's no right and wrong answer.
But like, I'm still not interested.
But I still
You'd be interested if you tried the Barbell Babes. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, I want to hear.
Yes, Barbell Babes. How it started? What do you want to know?
Yeah, like what inspired you to create it?
I feel like when it's come to training, I feel like I've evolved in a bunch of different avenues because of the different phases of my life. When I was a young trainer at 19, 20, 21, it was so easy to be like, everyone, if you're on the couch, you're overlapping everybody that's on the couch. If you make it to your workout, like you should make it to your workout and you should hit your calories and you should hit your cardio and you should and then because I was in college, I didn't have any responsibilities. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a husband. I was literally partying on the weekends and somehow waking up early enough to make it to my workout and then make it to work if I had work. But my priorities were so different. So my routine at that point was it was coordinated to that part of my life. And then I switched gears and went to self-employment, which then started taking a little bit more of my time. So then I was like, I'm not working out as much. I'm not hitting 5 workouts a week. I'm not doing cardio twice. I'm not everything started slowing down. And then when I hit about 25, everything really shifted to hormonal health because things started changing quick. I was like, holy shit, I have tits now and I have hips. And if I don't take care of myself, it's gonna, now things are shifting. So there was a big hormonal aspect of it to weight training and figuring out what was going on with my hormones. I had a lot of acne, so then I went that route. And then I went into marriage, and I'll be 30 in April, which I'm excited about being 30. I'm like, I don't care. I feel hotter as ever.
So great.
Yeah, but I also it's also, I feel like the way that your mindset is, I work out now and it's completely shifted to I get to work out. I am not working out to look so lean, so ripped. I know I'm strong. I feel strong. I make good health conscious decisions and I still enjoy myself on the weekends. So I feel like with training, everything has evolved in the past 10 years. It keeps changing. And that will probably change again once I get to having kids. That's also going to change. I think when people think about health and wellness, when you're reading something, especially on social media, because everything's so accessible and information is accessible and you can get overwhelmed by it, you see things consistently, one, because you land in an algorithm, and then you think that that's the only way.
Right.
But then you're not putting into account, okay, who is this person that I'm watching? Is this person an influencer that literally just records videos all day and this is how she makes her money? Is it a mom that has 2 kids and has to prioritize scheduling work? Is it a single mom that barely has any time in the day? What does that look like? And people don't ask themselves that when they're trying to plan something that works for them.
But so to interrupt you really quickly. So one of the things that you just said that for me personally resonated with was when you say you get to work out, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I have been an athlete my whole life. And so working out was always the punishment, right? You screw something up, start sprinting.
Yeah.
And you screw something up, push-ups, whatever it was. And it was I played competitive sports. And so it was intense. And so once I got out of college and it was okay, no one's forcing, I'm not getting punished anymore. I have that mentality.
This is all subjective now. I don't got to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I think I'm still there.
Yeah. I hate working out.
I can't stand it. And, in a HIIT class, I'm like, oh, that would just piss me off. Don't tell me what to do.
I don't need to be yelled
I'll do
at.
it when I want to do it.
When I want to do it.
Because we were athletes, so it was your workout was always the
punishment.
Fun. Well, it was the fun.
Yeah.
You got to play. You got to.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I get what you're saying.
You were playing the game.
Yeah.
So it was the fun of the core of your workout.
Yeah.
If you were going to be doing the push-ups or the sprints or anything like that, that was your punishment or your preparation to do the sport. Yeah.
And guilty, right? Because even now as a coach, we at some point last year we were told by administration that we couldn't punish quote unquote punish the kids with conditioning. And I emailed my AD and I said, there is no beeping way. Yeah. I said, kids don't change behavior unless there is a consequence associated to the behavior change. Mm-hmm. And I swear by it because my girls are going up into single-legged stunts in like 8 feet, 10 feet in the air and doing dumb shit. And I'm like, if you do that again, you're going to condition. And they stop doing it because they don't want to condition. No one wants to condition. Yep. My husband works a lot more with athletes than I do, like post-college, post-professional career. And I will say it is a hard switch. It's because I mean, I did it. I was a gymnast for 14 years. I did competitive all-star cheer. And then training kind of landed in my lap, and I'm so glad that it did because I really genuinely love it. But what I love more than training is the community and the acceptance that I've built my platform on. But going back to being like an athlete, it takes a switch in your brain to acknowledge like, I probably don't have to train that way anymore. Mm-hmm. 2, you have to separate the identity of what you were and what you are now because your entire life you have been an athlete. Right? You've been a softball player, a volleyball player, you played college, you did all these things, and then all of a sudden that ends. And nobody talks about like that transition of ending is hard. And a lot of people have a really hard time with it. So I understand if you haven't like learned to
still having a really hard time with it like 30 years later.
What did you play? What did you play?
I was a volleyball player.
That's amazing. Yeah. You got the hype for it.
We were both volleyball players. And like after I quit playing, I was like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. You can't make me.
You can't make me. And
you literally cannot make me.
And I'm still in that frame of mind.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can sit here for 2 hours with you and give you every excuse in the book why Bridget, I don't work out.
We don't have 2 hours. In fact,
I know, but I'm going to, Veronica and I are going to go have lunch after this because we're besties now.
Whatever.
We're going to, if you'd like.
We're going to take, if you'd like. If you insist. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then what we're going to do is jump into, like, I love this because, Bridget, maybe this could be the catalyst for change in our brains because nobody can make us do this.
I can. I'm just kidding. Well, we could talk about the Barbell Babes and maybe I can convince you guys.
All right, let's take a quick break. Shay, take us to a break and we'll be right back.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy clean. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltoalan.com. Again, that's selltoalan.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
You're listening to the Live the Dream Media Network, Arizona's premier live podcast studio and online radio.
All right. So
let's go.
Let's do this, Bridget. Are you done? Are you done making friends here? Can we get on with the show?
Whatever.
Okay. So all right. So weight training, and I love what you said about with time in between, time for rest. And that is also goes against everything. I'm like, how fast can I get this done? Exactly. So it's a shift. We have to like make this mental shift. So continue telling us about the barbells.
I'll tell you guys a little about the Barbell Babes, and then we'll circle back to what we were talking about. So the Barbell Babes started as a back to basics program, actually. And I think I want to say it was January of 22. So the Barbell Babes are like pretty new. But I ran like a 6-week back to basics program, and it was just to get people to get comfortable in the gym. So it was like, if you have a gym membership at Choose, LA Fitness, whatever it is, like come 2-3 times a week and we'll run you through some like barbell work, mechanics, make sure that everything feels well, kind of teaching people like when it's time to kind of go up in weight, how to dial it back, all those fun things. So that went on for like, I think I did 6 weeks, and it was at the beginning of the year. So it did really well because at the beginning of the year, everyone's looking for some kind of change. And after, when we were getting close to the end, a couple girls were like, hey, like, can we continue doing this? Like, is this something that you'd be willing to offer? So I was like, you know what? That's like a really good idea. So I kept the name Back to Basics and started a program. And then with time, it was just an evening class. It was Monday, Wednesday at 6 p.m. And the class started filling up. Like, I think I had like 8 girls, 9 girls, 10 girls. And then eventually it created enough demand that I needed to add a morning class. So then we added another morning class, which was really nice. But then I started realizing like what was happening within the program. Now it became like camaraderie. It became like the backseat thrivers. Like, they're just talking shit. They're, having a good time. And that makes it easier to show up because now you have girls that you are connected with in some way or another. And somehow, like, I think I was just posting Instagram stories and I just started putting like my cute Barbell Babes, like, and it just stuck. So I kept it. I said the Barbell Babes, it stuck to a program. And it's just become like, I don't tell the girls as often as I should, but I feel like there was a time there where I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Like, I don't know if I want to train or what's the game plan long term. And the Barbell Babes like reflamed that in me. I was like, okay, this is what it is. Like, and I think that that's the theme with like a lot of things in my life is like, I really enjoy photography. I really enjoy coaching. I really enjoy personal training. I really enjoy podcasting. But all of those things have one thing in common. And the one thing is like bringing people together and lifting women up. So like, and it's what it is. It's like the Barbell Babes work out, but once a month we do something out of the gym. Like what did we do? Last month was a little crazy. Well, this month was crazy. In December, we did like our Christmas party, and then we all go out dancing at Whiskey Roads. And then this year was the first year that I was able to hire somebody essentially to be like my Barbell Babes coordinator, who's also a Barbell Babe. And she's in charge of organizing like all the events every month, like just taking some stuff off my plate because I'm always running around like my head is cut off. So I was like, it's time to delegate. So like just trying to figure that out. But it started as a class that was going to be like a 6-week program, and just like it did so well. And now they're pretty self-sufficient.
Are you taking new people?
I'm taking you and Bridget.
Oh,
let's go
on Monday morning. I'm scared.
Are you going to yell at me?
No, I don't yell.
Okay.
I do tell, like, it's so good. This morning I was training a client at 6 a.m. and we were talking about her daughter's in high school. And you would love it. You would love it because it's not what you think it is. It's not like, I'm not throwing you into the wolves. Like, the girls are so self-sufficient now that every time I get somebody new, I'm like, y'all know what the fuck you're doing. I'm going to go and hang out with this gal for a little bit and make sure she's taken care of. And within a week and a half, 2 weeks tops, that new girl is like, I'm on it. Like, I know exactly what we're doing.
The next one.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That's just kind of how it goes.
I'm kind of needy.
Well, yeah.
But that community, what you said is like, she's helping the next one. Also, the girls are very helpful. Like, I leave town sometimes and I have John, who's one of our other trainers, I always have him cover. And I'm like, don't let these girls fool you. Like, they know what the fuck they're doing. They just need to be supervised. Like, you're basically a paid chaperone. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. But I've had some girls I've had since the beginning. I've had one girl that I've had for 4 years, and I've had some girls that I've had for 6 months. But usually what happens is people start the program and they stay.
Okay. So getting on a weight training program, super important. I want to talk a little bit about food because we had a really interesting chat about this. As we're raising kids, okay, so it's one thing to be an adult and to beat yourself up or like, shame yourself for poor choices or whatever, which we shouldn't, but it's one thing to do that. But now raising this next generation of kids who and we were, I was no better when I was a kid. We ate all the crap we wanted to.
Yeah.
But my kids just want to eat crap.
Yeah.
And I have such a hard time buying crap. Like it doesn't feel, I don't like having potato chips in my cart.
Yeah.
And I don't like having soda. And those are the things that they love. And, I was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends and she was like, well, don't judge them on that. Let them make their choices themselves. Like, what message are you sending? And so that's, I think, where I'm struggling a little bit is like, hey, SpaghettiOs are not a food group.
Yeah.
And I am
frozen
horrified.
chicken nuggies are not a good source of protein.
Yeah.
Dino nuggets?
Dino
You guys are haters.
Where's the balance though?
It's so hard, and all of it is hard. Like the way that we talk to kids about food and movement and bodies is such a blurred line. And I learned this firsthand years ago because I have a niece, she's 16. And when she was, I'm telling you, like when you say she's just a baby, like you were telling me your son was like, oh, I'm so fat. And you're like, you're just a baby. Like why, how do you even know what this means? Like my sister's 5'11". My brother-in-law is like 6'3". I'm the shortest one in my family. My niece is taller than me already. And she's a thicker girl. She's going to be for a long time. So I remember one time when she was young, she must have been maybe like 4. And I was already training at the time. And I remember my sister asked her something and she was like, I want to be flat, like flat belly, flat like my tia Güera. And I said, no, you want to be healthy like your tia Güera. And that's the difference. I think that it's such a blur line, especially when we talked about like how kids have accessibility to like the internet and all these things that they see and they compare themselves constantly. And like, you don't have to tell me, I was telling you, I work with 17 teenagers for 9 months out of the year. And they are constantly like, I almost try to not allow them the space. Like if I take a picture, they're like, oh, Coach, you don't post it. I'm like, I didn't ask you. You look beautiful. Let's move on. Like, but with kids, it's hard. And I asked you, like, what are your eating habits like? And you said, like, my habits are great. I think it's just.
I mean, I don't know that I said great,
but they're good, right? They're not terrible. I think it's more of like the introduction of saying, like, hey, like, you're going to get to a point in your life where when you don't exercise and you don't eat the best foods, like, you're not going to feel your best. And some of these things make us feel shitty. Some of these things have diseases linked to them. Some of these things have high processed ingredients and food colorings and all that stuff. So it's hard. And also, I don't want to stub any toes here because I don't have kids. I think it's a blurry line. Like you got to figure out, and also every one kid isn't the same. You could say something. I have cheerleaders. I can be like, get your shit together. And they're like, absolutely, Coach V, yes. And if I told another kid, get your shit together, she'd break out in tears. Right. Like you can't, it's not a one size fits all, which makes it even more complicated, but
it really isn't. And that's where, like with us, and still to this day, we have a candy drawer.
Yeah.
And we have candy in there that goes back to like last Easter.
Yeah.
and we've always had it accessible in moderation.
Yeah.
Like we have Trader Joe's, their Takis. We have.
Oh, those are so good.
They're so good.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a chip girl. We're best friends.
We're besties already.
I'm just kidding, Christina.
Maybe it's a Hispanic thing. Sorry.
Oh, wait. Now I'm getting outcasted over something I can't even control.
You can't, but you speak Spanish, so it works.
It'll work out bilingual. Just fine.
So, and that was one of our things is we're not going to keep it from you because you're going to find a way.
Yes.
These kids find a way. They will find
same with everything.
The rock star. They will find those energy drinks. They will get the Takis at school because they sell them in the vending machine. And it's always about moderation. And, if you're going to eat cookies, how many cookies are you going to have? If you're gonna, gonna eat chips, how many chips? Did you eat this 3 times a day, or did you have it with your lunch?
Yeah.
And we had to educate along the way, versus telling them no, you can't have it because they're teenagers.
Yeah, and when you say no, like you said, they're gonna find it.
They're gonna find, and I want it. Like
same.
I want the chips.
I will
say
want the
that I don't want to be punished.
One of the things that I think that might be helpful in your situation with the kids is like, I'm a potato chip girl until I die. like once a week,
Lay's all
you're
the
going to see me.
ways.
And I've gotten better. Like I used to go in on a bag of hot Cheetos. Now I'm like, oh, I'll have a serving of hot Cheetos and be fine. But that's another thing that you can educate kids on. Like they just don't know a lot. They don't know about reading labels. They don't know about reading ingredients. They don't know that a bag of chips is 540 calories versus a serving, which is 140. Like, so it's teaching them that in a way that's like, I'm not telling you you're fat. I'm not telling you you're, binge eating. I'm just telling you that these are things that are going to be beneficial for you to learn. Because like we talked about, when I left my house at 18, what I thought was healthy was not healthy. I used to think chicken's healthy, right? Mm-hmm. I used to think Jack in the Box chicken strips were healthy. So you could catch me after school at 2:30 every day before I went to work at the Jack in the Box drive-thru, because it was healthy. It's chicken, There was so much that they don't know, and it can translate the same with like movement. And I think the biggest thing with movement is like you can't tell a kid. Again, I'm not a mom. You can't tell a kid you should work out, because the undertone of that is you need to get in shape, which the undertone of that is you're overweight or you don't look good, right? Yeah. And it's such a blurry line, but I feel like if we say, hey, like,
do it with me.
How do you feel? Like, I have low energy, you're always on your phone, you're always on your video games, like, do you feel a little sluggish? Maybe we should go get some sun. Maybe we should go for a walk. Like, it's just it's hard. I don't have kids.
You don't have kids, but you have other people's kids.
I do. I do have my niece, and and also my niece. Like I talk to her a lot, and I'm careful with what I say and how I say it.
You have to be.
Yeah, because I don't ever want her to also grow up and create this idea that all I did was push stuff down her throat. Which I will say, at one point in my training career, which was early on when I had zero responsibilities, I was getting down on everybody, and then I was like, you know what? It's none of my fucking business what these people do. Like, if they need my help, they will come to me. And I love my family, but say like my parents, my siblings and their wives, of all of us, there's 15 and 4 of us work out. Like, and that's just how it is. Like, I do this for a living. If you want my help, I'm here to help you. But this is a life that I'm choosing to live.
So what advice on eating do you give? I mean, is this just the obvious, like, eat balanced meals and lean proteins? And because now you hear so much more about women need so much more protein.
They do need so much more protein. But the thing is, again, everything is so subjective when it comes to health and wellness. I would say if you're starting all the way from the bottom, all the way, the first thing that you need to understand is what proteins are, what carbs are, and what fats are, and what they do in your body, what kind of role they play in your body. And also, I think this has become more important now as we're getting into like the movement of making a quote unquote America healthy again. Reading ingredients and understanding that the stuff that you're putting in your body has seed oils, inflammatory byproducts, preservatives. Like, I don't think people understand. And I mean, so many tips. Like, I could say that. Start from the bottom, understand what your proteins, carbs, and fats are. Keep that simple. Understand what your baseline is according to the movement that you make. If you guys aren't familiar, there's an app online called Precision Nutrition, and you can use their calculator to give you an idea of like how many calories you should be eating according to your goals and the movement that you have. I use that all the time for my clients. Super helpful. Highly recommend that one. Another thing that I tell my clients when they're like first starting out is like, when you go grocery shopping, stay on the perimeter of the store. Easy peasy. That's it, right? And people are like, well, what do you mean? What's on the perimeter of the store?
Fruits, vegetables, dairy,
meats. And what's in the middle in the aisles? All the processed shit.
Your filler shit.
All the stuff that they're trying to keep on shelf life.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and also like another thing too, and like I have so many things. I've done this for so long that I'm like, oh, I got so many tips and tricks. But Fry's pickup has changed my life financially and just meal prep wise. I feel like we have these tools that we don't use when they're at the tip of our fingers. Like, if we're going to have the accessibility, if we're going to have the flexibility of ordering things online, why not make a list of all the healthy stuff that you need to create your meals for the week and not go into the store while you're hungry and distracted and buy all the shit that you don't need? Because that I mean, COVID has given some good things, and grocery store pickup is a big one for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I love that. It's like an easy thing to start with, being like, okay, literally I can only shop on the perimeter of the store. That's where you're going to find your fruits, your vegetables, your eggs, your poultry, your ham, your turkey deli, your meats, everything that you need.
Stick to the perimeter of the grocery store.
That's going to be the biggest takeaway, guys.
I'm writing that one
Maybe
down.
for lunch, you and me, Christina.
Oh,
just kidding.
Yes.
I'm just switching back and forth. Can go to the perimeter of the Spry's grocery store.
Sorry, do we have a commercial break we have to go to?
Well, actually, we do in like a couple minutes. So
we still got time.
Darn it.
Okay, I feel like that's actually super doable
that is
too.
a wonderful tip.
It's super helpful, and I feel like when it comes down to health and wellness, and Bridget, you're not going to like this, but
okay,
this is the biggest mind shift that you have to have. And I want you to think about it like a button on your back that's literally flipping. You will do this for the rest of your life. And that I know it sounds easier said than done, but it will make it easier to tell yourself that you're going to do this for the rest of your life. I always tell people, life is a series of common days, schedules, some celebrations, some of those outings, all these things. So why not adjust your lifestyle to what that life is going to be like? Because it doesn't stop. Like if you were an athlete and you worked out and you probably felt your best at that point in your life, you're just going to have to shift gears to what that feels like now as an adult, but it doesn't end. So when people come and see me and I'm like, look, you're not mine to keep forever. I would love to keep you forever. I'm a terrible businesswoman though. And I know that you're not going to stay. The goal is that you can learn so much that you understand that this is something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. You will move your body and eat in a way that your body feels good for the rest of your life. The alternative is you don't, and you feel like shit. You'll get diabetes, high blood pressure, your joints will start hurting, you're going to start aging early. What's the alternative?
I feel like she's just reading my mind right now.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I know. No.
I'm actually really enjoying being a guest, guys. This is amazing.
You
know what? I quit.
You just want to be
David, I quit. I just want to be a guest all the time.
It is. It's something that I've told Christina this throughout the years. I am awful. I'm awful when it comes to working out and sticking to a regimen, and I'm scared.
Yeah.
You know, and I have been in on and off pains for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I get into a groove and then I injure myself. And then I'm out for 3 to 4 months.
You would do well with my husband.
And then
that sounds awful to say it that way.
She's a married lady.
Hey, whoa.
Let's cut to that break, guys.
Right?
I mean, I knew you did well, but what else is behind
He
the
just does
scenes?
a lot of like he has a lot of former athletes, but he also has people that have like injuries. So he does really well with people that have injuries, and he's helped me a lot too because I get out of one and then I put myself in another.
Okay.
But
Bridget,
I'll let
that's
you know. I'll give you some of his information. I think you would like it.
I would love that because I used to be a runner.
Yeah.
And then I threw my back out, and then I've had constant sciatica. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to ride a bike. And then I jacked my knee up.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, I can't run. I can't ride a bike. I'm going to swim. So then I swim, and then I threw my shoulder out, and I'm like, well, damn it, the universe is against me.
There's a message there. There's
Don't
a message
work
there.
out.
No, that's not the message.
That's the message
The
I
message
heard.
is that there's a bunch of imbalances in your body. Does that make sense? So you can't go full force on one thing and expect for everything else to just fall behind. Your body has to work like a well-oiled machine. I think. And again,
That's
this
actually
is
probably the best piece of advice you've heard.
I think so.
You're welcome, sister. The other thing too is people.
I'm her sister now.
We just upgraded from first letter to sister. Oh my gosh. The other thing too is like most trainers, like every trainer has a niche. Like I always tell people, I am not the smartest trainer in the world. I'm
you're
not.
cute.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got nice boobs too.
You do.
They just came in like 5 years ago. I don't know what to do with them. I feel like my specialty is one, understanding women, understanding where you are in your life right now. And the third thing is understanding everything that has not worked this far. Why? There's a reason. So when we sit down and do a consultation, I want to fucking know everything.
I feel
what's
motivated.
your period like? Especially with women, hormonal stuff is so important, and the information on women's hormones and movement is so undervalued and underrated. So I want to know how you're sleeping. I want to know how you're fucking. I want to know what you're eating. I want to know what you're doing during the day. I want to know what your stress levels are at. I want to know everything that has not worked up until this point and why. Because there's always a reason. The number one reason something doesn't work is because you went balls to the wall, 100% foot on the gas pedal, and you're going to burn out. There's not a time in my life, I did a bikini competition. That was the worst shit of my life. It wrecked me. I was eating the same thing every single day for 12 weeks. It messed with me emotionally, mentally. Like, yeah, I looked great, but then when I started eating normal food, I put all my weight back on because that's what happens. Like, it's not, you're not taught to see the other part of it. And I think that when people think about health and wellness, they think all or nothing. And I promise you that is not the way. And it might be the way for 6 weeks. It might be the way for 12 weeks until you get tired of eating chicken and rice for dinner every fucking night. And then you go out on a weekend, you binge, and then you just snowball. Yep. It's not the way. Like, besides the grocery store, like around the corner, if I could give you the biggest piece of advice is you cannot go balls to the wall. You can't. You have to find what works for you, where you're at in your life right now, how that matches up with your work schedule, your mom's schedule, your priority schedule. That's like the other thing. Like, you also ask yourself, like, what are my goals, and are those goals making sense as a priority in my life right now?
That is a really important thing to do. Okay, we need to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be we're in the home stretch already. This is like, it's making me antsy how fast it's going. I know.
I think we need another one.
I know. So we're going to take a quick break, but I think this hormonal stuff that you're talking about, we were having a conversation before this, and one of our upcoming episodes is all about that. And you talk about something that's under-researched and underfunded and all of those things. So when we get back, we'll dig into that a little bit more, and then
we'll go to the grocery store.
And then we'll go to the grocery store. Yeah. All right, stick with us. We'll be right back.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy keen. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
You're listening to the Live the Dream Media Network, Arizona's premier live podcast studio and online radio.
Awesome. All right, we're back. So as we're talking about all of these amazing things that you bring to our community, Veronica, I think one of the things that I just continue to feel from you is empowerment. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like we were saying over the break, like, shit, I feel motivated. Like,
no, we weren't saying that. You said that.
You said.
We were talking over the break. I said, I feel motivated. You said, I feel hungover. I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
That's two very different things.
But I think one of the great things that that you bring to our female community here is empowerment. And I want to hear a little bit about your photography, because I think that boudoir photography, that's incredibly intimate. And in order to do that, just to be on the other side of the camera, you have to have a level of trust. You have to have a level of confidence.
Yep.
And you have to feel empowered by your photographer.
Yes.
And I think that says a lot about you and what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thank you for saying that. I feel like that's like the biggest compliment is when someone's like, you like what you do. And I really, when I used to think of like, dang, like you do too much. And I was like, yeah, I do. And I hear people say like,
that's a
jack of all trades, master of none. And I'm like, yeah, and I may not be, but all those things have that one thing in common. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's important. I will say, I feel like I kind of get that from my mom, and I don't know if I just kind of put that two and two together.
Way to go, Mom.
Yeah, she's a badass. I love her. Anyway, I picked up the camera in, I want to say it was like 2019, maybe 2020, Christmas of 2019 was what it was. And I didn't know what way I wanted to go with it yet, because I hate editing pictures, which is wild because like you have to edit pictures when you're a photographer. So it's literally my least favorite thing to do. But there was a gal, and she was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. Her name is Elisa, and she is a Phoenix-based photographer. Her company is called Goddess Rising. So I found her on Instagram, and me and my husband did a photo shoot with her. So it was like a beautiful, I'll have to show you guys pictures after this, but it was like a river shoot down at the Salt River. And I was wearing jeans, and I was wearing like a one-piece lingerie, but you couldn't tell it was lingerie because the jeans made it look like an outfit. Mm-hmm. And then when me and him finished pictures, she was like, let's do a few of just you. And I was like, okay. So I take my pants off, and I'm wearing like one piece lingerie, G-string, asses out, the whole shindig. And she poses me, and she shows me the pictures. And I'm like, holy shit. And then she sends me the pictures a couple weeks later, and I was like, jaw dropped. I was like, oh my gosh.
I look good.
I was like, that is a nice ass. But she did that. She posed me. She helped me breathe the way that I needed to make sure that I showed like the angles of my back and that my mouth was parted correctly and all this stuff. So I did that with her. And then a couple months later, she was doing like these little mentorships, and I was like, I'm going to do it with her. And I did it. And at that point, again, I was still very much like, I don't know which way I want to go with it. And it doesn't mean that I don't do other stuff. Like I've done family portraits, I've done senior portraits, but I did my first women's empowerment shoot, and I shot 10 girls all together, and they were wearing jeans. We were in a creek down by Rio Rico, like there's water, they're wearing jeans, their jeans are wet, and they're covering their breasts with their hands. And I have literally like a girl that's very light skinned, I have a black woman, I have Hispanic women, I have a girl with like curly hair, I have a woman that was pregnant, like my favorite pictures of all time. And it was literally 10 women with all different bodies, all different ethnicities, all different backgrounds, hair types, skin colors, eyes, everything in this picture. And I was like, this is it. I was like, I fucking love this shit. This is amazing. And that was like the start of it. And then it kind of rolled. So I don't do them as often anymore. I did the Valentine's Day one a couple weeks ago because that's always usually when women want to do them for either themselves or like their significant other. But we make it like a whole experience now. And I'm very lucky. I used to work at a salon probably like 6-7 years ago on and off. And then I managed the salon for a little bit, and I have a really good relationship with my boss. I still call her my boss. And whenever I've needed like an extra push or she's needed like somebody to cover, like I usually go help out. But in that, I made relationships with Anna, who's a really good friend of mine who does my hair. And then Camila, who does my lashes, who I also met at the salon, she does makeup. So this last one that we did, Anna did hair, Camila did makeup, I did photography. We bring mimosas, and it's just such an amazing experience because all it takes is one picture. And I have like a go-to pose, and like Anna has videos of me sitting in front of the girls and being like, okay, you're gonna sit like this, your hand's gonna go here, other hand's gonna go in the pocket, you're gonna stick your chi-chis out, you're gonna lift your chin, you're gonna take a big inhale, and you're gonna close your eyes, and then you're gonna exhale through your mouth, opening it about an inch. And then I take like a picture, and then I'm like, holy shit, like that was amazing. And then all it takes is me to turn the camera once and be like, look at that. And they're like, holy shit. And then that's it. That's all it takes. It takes that one picture, and then all of a sudden there's like a sigh of relief, because I have not met a person that's come to me and not been nervous when they do these pictures, which is it's a little intimidating, and it really does highlight all your beauty, but it does also highlight your flaws, and that's really difficult for women to see. But I've told this to people, and I've done it myself. Like I have purposely made myself take pictures at some of the most uncomfortable body weights of my life. And not even body weights, because my body weights sometimes stay the same. My body's just all over the place. But purposely, I'm like, I'm not doing this, because in 10 years, I'm going to look back and wish I did do it, because my body's not going to look like this all the time. So I try to encourage people to be like, I know that all these pictures aren't going to be perfect, but there will be some that you love more than others, and that's completely normal. But also give yourself the grace in the other pictures that aren't perfect. I don't Photoshop people. Like, I'll blur skin sometimes, like certain like birthmarks or stuff like that.
Hold on, I'm not
but I don't.
You don't Photoshop.
I don't Photoshop. I'm sorry. Some people are like, I posted it. I'll show you guys pictures of my ass. And I did some a couple weeks ago, and I loved them. And I almost didn't want to. It was only like my hormones are still all over the place after the miscarriage. I still feel not completely normal, and I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I love them. That's a nice ass. It's a nice ass.
I think one of the I love this conversation today, and hearing all of these things. Our title of today's podcast is Girl Boss. Mm-hmm. So when I hear that, everything that you're doing, you are taking risks and you're trusting your instincts, and as a woman, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. It's like a blessing and a curse. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to do this. My husband's like, you're going to do what?
What?
I'm like, let's go out on a limb, baby.
What are we doing? You're okay.
No, I do think I have a lot of these qualities definitely for my mom, but when people ask me, like, I've been asked, like, how are you so confident? How are you? And I'm like, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But the common answer is always like, I never allow myself not to. And I think it kind of sounds psychotic, but I just don't. Like, I don't let myself not wear something because I don't feel like I'm in the best shape right now. I don't let myself not do the thing because I think I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Like,
how long did it take you to get to that point, to that confidence?
I feel like I always had a little bit of it. Like, I think there was like one thing that really resonates to me when you ask that question. Me and my mom went on a trip back in 2022. We did a mother-daughter trip. We went to Europe, Greece. We did Santorini, Athens, Rome, Mykonos. Like, it was like a whole thing. It was amazing. And we went to this restaurant in Rome, and we're sitting down, and it's like it was like a group thing. So like all of us are sitting there, and I order like a margarita pizza. We're in fucking Rome. Like, literally like 2 blocks down is the Colosseum and all this stuff. And we're sitting down, and these two ladies that traveled together, and they were sitting right next to us, and I was eating my pizza, and there was like baskets of bread, and I think I said something like, do you want some bread? And she goes, oh no, honey, I can't have that. She was like 70. I was like, that didn't sit right with me. Like, she's 70. I was like, I don't want to be 70 and not have a fucking piece of bread in Rome. I was like, so I'm not going to do it. So in my head, I was like, I can live whatever life I want, but I have to set the standard, whether that's eating healthy and, moving my body, enjoying my life. But I don't want to be that person that looks back and is like, I didn't take the pictures when I was 25. I didn't take the pictures when I was 30. And now I'm 50, and I would never take the pictures. and I wish I would have taken them back then, or I wish I would have XYZ. Like, I think there are things in life that are worth taking a back seat for. Not the backseat drivers, though.
That's right.
I mean, come on.
But
now.
I feel like there's also a lot of things in life that you're going to look back on and be like, why did I care? And why was I so concerned? You know?
Well, you know, I think that kind of wraps us up beautifully. We've got the empowerment piece, which is just so wildly important. We talked a little bit about food, get that protein in, stick to the perimeter of the grocery store. And we have a lot more to talk about on the hormone piece, and that's going to be in a future episode.
For sure.
Veronica, V, thank you so much for being on with us
sister,
today.
we just love you. Hold on, let me get it.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Thank you guys for having me. This was really nice to come on as a guest. I told David, I was like, I'm really excited to be a guest.
Yeah.
We didn't even get through half of our questions.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
No, I love it. And we would love to have you back on.
Sign me up, sister.
All right.
Sisters.
Yeah,
All right.
Sisters.
Hey,
Okay,
sign
you're
me
part
up,
of this.
sisters.
Sisters.
Well,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.